It was meant to be a day of adventure, a break from the pressures of university life for a group of students from Nairobi, eager to escape the city's bustle and reconnect with nature at Gate National Park. The trip had been planned for weeks, and anticipation buzzed in the air as the bus wound its way through the Rift Valley, carrying laughter and stories along with it. Spirits were high as they entered the park, their faces lit with excitement and curiosity. The famous Njorowa Gorge, with its towering cliffs and winding paths, promised adventure and memories to last a lifetime. Among them was Silas, vibrant and full of life, always the one to crack a joke or offer a helping hand. He was the heart of the group, the friend everyone counted on, yet tragically, he would never walk out of the gorge that day. The group explored, laughing and snapping photos, their voices echoing off the ancient rocks. They marveled at the dramatic landscape, unaware that beneath the beauty, danger was quietly lurking, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As they descended deeper into the gorge, the mood shifted. The laughter faded, replaced by a growing sense of unease. The path narrowed, the walls pressed in, and what began as excitement soon turned to confusion, then panic. In the blink of an eye, Silas vanished, without a sound, without a trace. One moment he was there, surrounded by friends on a single, linear path with no exits. The next he was simply gone, as if swallowed by the earth itself. His friends called his name, their voices bouncing desperately off the stone walls, growing more frantic with each unanswered echo. The gorge, once filled with laughter, now held only silence and fear. Above them the sun shone bright and indifferent, casting long shadows into the depths below. But inside the gorge, a chilling mystery had begun to unfold, one that would haunt everyone present for years to come. Silas's disappearance quickly became a legend, whispered about by locals and visitors alike. It was an unsolved riddle, a story that grew with every retelling, casting a long shadow over Hell's Gate to this very day. Sometimes there are no answers, only the echo of a name, lost and unanswered, drifting endlessly through the canyon's ancient stone corridors. Hell's Gate National Park is a place of raw power, towering cliffs, volcanic towers, and hissing steam vents. The old Njorowa Gorge, carved by ancient waters, is both beautiful and dangerous, with flash floods a constant threat. For the Maasai, this land is sacred, filled with spirits and stories of the earth claiming those who disrespect it. The park's name hints at its reputation, a gateway to something otherworldly. Tourists are drawn by the beauty and the thrill, lulled by a deceptive sense of safety. But Hell's Gate keeps its secrets, blurring the line between natural wonder and eerie mystery. Here, awe and fear walk side by side. Silas Chepkeris, just 21 years old, was a charismatic university student, loved by friends, admired by classmates, and respected by his teachers. His infectious smile and easy laughter made him the kind of person everyone wanted to be around. Silas was admired for his natural leadership, his boundless energy, and his genuine zest for life. He was the one who brought people together, always encouraging others to join in and make the most of every moment. He was the heart of his group, responsible, adventurous, and always looking out for his friends. Silas loved exploring, but he was never reckless. He made sure everyone felt safe and included. The trip to Hell's Gate National Park was exactly the kind of outing he thrived on. For Silas, these adventures were a way to bond, to challenge himself, and to experience the beauty of Kenya with those he cared about. On that day, Silas was in high spirits, cracking jokes, laughing, and leading the way down the sunlit trails. His enthusiasm was contagious, lifting the mood of everyone around him. He was fit, experienced, and surrounded by friends who trusted him. There was no sign of distress, no hint that anything was wrong, and certainly no reason for him to wander off alone. That's why his sudden disappearance was so unthinkable. Silas was the last person anyone expected to get lost. He was always the one making sure no one else fell behind. Silas was more than just a headline. He was a beloved son, a caring brother, and a loyal friend. He had dreams, ambitions, and a future that seemed bright and full of promise. The tragedy is not just his absence, but the loss of all the potential and hope that vanished with him. His family and friends are left with memories and unanswered questions. The bright star that was Silas was snuffed out in an instant, leaving behind a void and a trail of questions that may never be answered. His story is a powerful reminder of how quickly life can change, and how some mysteries linger, echoing in the hearts of those left behind. The group moved single file through a narrow section of the gorge, their footsteps echoing softly off the ancient rock. The air was cool and still, the only sounds the crunch of gravel and the distant call of a bird overhead. The walls of Njorowa Gorge rose high on either side, pressing in, making the world feel smaller with every step. Silas, always in the thick of things, was in the middle, laughing and chatting with friends, his voice blending with theirs as they shared stories and jokes, the mood light and carefree. Then, in a blink, he was gone. No sound, no struggle, just an empty space where he'd been. One moment he was there, the next, it was as if the earth had swallowed him whole. At first, his friends thought he'd stopped for a photo or to tie his shoe. Maybe lagged behind to examine a strange rock or snap a picture of the gorge's twisted walls. They called his name. Voices bouncing off the stone retraced their steps, scanning the ground for any sign. No dropped belongings, no footprints leading away, nothing but the unsettling silence. The gorge offered no escape. Sheer walls towered above, smooth and unbroken, no caves or cracks big enough for a person to slip through, no hidden paths or secret exits. The guide, baffled and growing anxious, had never seen anything like it in all his years leading groups through these canyons. He searched for logical explanations, but none made sense. The laws of nature seemed suspended. Silas had vanished in seconds, leaving his friends frozen in disbelief, their faces pale and eyes wide with fear. The gorge, once a place of adventure, now felt haunted. Panic set in. The group was quickly led out, adults trying to keep everyone calm as authorities and searchers gathered at the entrance, their radios crackling with urgent voices. The story was the same from every witness. He was there, then he wasn't. No one saw him leave, no one heard a thing. It was as if he'd simply ceased to exist. No evidence, no explanation, just a nightmare unfolding in the shadows of the gorge, the air thick with questions and dread. As night fell, the reality set in. Silas was gone, and no one knew how. The group sat in silence, haunted by the memory of his sudden disappearance, the darkness pressing in around them. The gorge had claimed him, leaving only fear and disbelief behind, and a chilling reminder that some mysteries remain unsolved, echoing through the canyon long after the sun has set. The search for Silas was immediate and massive. Rangers, helicopters, drones and dogs scoured the gorge. Every inch was checked, every crevice probed, but there was no trace, no scent, no belongings, nothing. His family arrived, desperate for answers, turning to both authorities and spiritual leaders. The park staff were determined, "We will not stop until we have an answer." But days turned to weeks and hope faded. Not a single clue was found. No evidence of a fall, attack, or escape. The search became a recovery, then a cold case. Hell's Gate had swallowed Silas without a trace. The sense of helplessness was overwhelming for all involved. The park's beauty now masked an unspeakable loss. With no evidence, theories multiplied: accident, animal attack, foul play, even the supernatural. Some believed Silas fell into a hidden fissure or was buried by a rockfall. But the search found nothing. An animal attack seemed unlikely, no blood, no struggle, and he was surrounded by friends. Foul play was considered, but there was no motive, no opportunity, and no sign of abduction. Local legends spoke of spirits and portals. Perhaps Silas trespassed on sacred ground and was claimed by the land. Others wondered if he staged his own disappearance, but his life showed no signs of trouble. Bank accounts untouched, no secret messages, no evidence of a planned escape. Each theory dissolved under scrutiny, leaving only the impossible. The gorge remained silent, its secret intact. In the end, all that remained was the chilling mystery. Silas's disappearance left a wound that never healed. His family lives in limbo, unable to mourn or move on, haunted by hope and despair. The story gripped the nation, turning into a cautionary tale and a modern legend. For the park, it was a crisis. Access restricted, safety reviewed, but the mystery endured. Friends who were there carry the trauma, bound by an impossible story. The joy of that day was replaced by a shared grief and fear of the unknown. Silas became the boy who walked into Hell's Gate and never returned. The cliffs stand silent, guarding their secret. And we are left to wonder what really happened to Silas in the heart of Hell's Gate.